What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and we are back for a top 5 hot niches of the week. And again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but I know a lot of people said, Liz, we all love that tool you showed. Some of us already knew it existed, but we like the old school style. We like the old school style of you just looking through the hot new releases and telling us what's hot. So even though there was some people out there that didn't like that, I've gotta keep up with what the masses want. And so this week, we explore and we take a further deep dive. It's almost like we're diving into the deep trenches of the ocean, not knowing what we're gonna find, not knowing what the hell exists. So we could find the Loch Ness Monster, we could find a big fat ass shark like we've seen in some of those movies. But at the end of the day, whatever we find, it's what we're gonna actually start to implement and put into our KDP business. That's the way we'll get some hot sales, especially coming into Halloween and Christmas. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into the top 5 hot niches of the week, and I'll see you inside. All right, so we're here on my desktop and we're just gonna jump straight into the hot new releases, right? So as always, I'm gonna Google Amazon hot new releases. I'm gonna click on it and we're gonna go straight into children's books. But I will say this, I've been hitting this pretty consistently week after week, and I've noticed that a lot of the ideas that I've thrown out there are already out there. And so as a result, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually jump into deeper actual subsections, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I briefly talked about this in one of last week's videos. So instead of just going into children's books and activities, crafts, and games, we're gonna take it a step further and we're gonna start with activities books, and then we'll jump into some coloring books and some diaries, and maybe some diaries, maybe not. So coloring books and a couple other things, and then we'll take it from there and see what we actually come up with. So part of coming up with hot new ideas every single week and constantly have them brewing up in your head is having a lot of options as to where to actually look. So we're gonna dive deeper into these sections and allow the mainstream to kind of collect and catch up with us and our ideas, right? So we're always thinking, always creating. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at this. Now, a lot of the ideas that I've mentioned in the past are already super hot, like this presidential election, 4th of July stuff and all that good stuff. Ocean animals, we've talked about before. This ripoff of a dog named Bluey, that punk ass dog that's ripped off Blue's Clues. And I apologize if I'm offending anybody or if anybody really likes Bluey's, but God, it just reminds me of Blue's Clues. And I'm like, what? I can't believe that's not like trademark infringement or something of that effect. And here's Bluey again. So you can see he's almost stalking my ass for talking shit about him. All right, so here we are. One of the ideas that I mentioned last week, which is monsters. I think monsters are hot. And I think we're gonna see a recurrent theme as I keep looking through here. And we're gonna start seeing more and more monsters pop up, because at the end of the day, it's coming around and Halloween will be here soon. And we've talked about God in the Bible and stuff like that, and doing books like that. I don't think we've ever mentioned sloths, but hey, sloths are pretty happening just about any time, as are unicorns and bedtime stories. So a lot of the same recurrent stuff, and that's kind of one of the reasons that, like Danny the dinosaur there, again, we've talked about dinosaurs in the past, and we've talked about naming creatures like dinosaurs. And so this ballerina is new. I've not seen anything about ballerinas yet, but I've got to see more evidence in just one single book that it's going to be a hot new niche. Now the board book catches my eye immediately, so I'm going to pay close attention to if there's a bunch of different things about being bored, because it is summer, and even though we're coming to the end of summer, we still don't know the status with schools and such. So who knows what's going to happen, right? So we see mermaids, Roblox, which we've talked about. There's that freaking Bluey. That guy is pissing me off. And Wendell goes to space, right? And here we are, another big book of monsters, which just goes to show I know what I'm talking about when it comes to monsters. They are going to soon be very hot. Here's an adult coloring book. It almost looks like a Jade Summer book, which if you don't know who that is, take a look at that author. She sells a shit ton of books. And here is something that stands out to me immediately. I did see them in the actual bestsellers when I perused there earlier, but that is the best toddler coloring book. So that is my number one right now that I've seen thus far, niche of the week, and that is toddler coloring books. And I think one of the reasons they're becoming hot is something that I talked about last month, which is they're almost gonna have to go to school, like pre-K and or something of that nature. And so as a result, moms are going to want to get their toddlers more involved and more kind of almost studying and understanding what it's going to be like to learn if they haven't already. So those are going to definitely be hot. And here's something else that I noticed. I don't even actually know if I'm going to find anything else, but I want to be like the activity book. So what does that actually mean? I think what it means is just trying to teach children what they want to do when they want to grow up. And so, although I doubt that that's going to pop up again, that's just kind of like one of them out there that I kind of notice right now that kids are going to be going to school. They're going to be given all these like professions thrown at them, and they're going to want to learn like what they're going to need to do when they grow up. Obviously, there was nothing like entrepreneurship out there when I was a kid, but I was talking about it, and that's why most people thought I was effing crazy, just like most people still think I'm effing crazy right now. So don't let that bother me too much, and whatever. But here we go. What can I grow up to be? Here's the second book we've seen with that theme. And so I guess I'm going to just throw it up there as the number 2 book, is teaching kids what they want to do when they grow up in the actual, maybe a coloring book or something of that nature. Like you could put doctors, lawyers, drug dealers, all that good stuff. We know that what professions make the most money. So why not toss them in a book and give them to our young, right? And so if we keep going forward, I'll still keep looking at for stuff. National Regular Average Ordinary Day. I mean, that kind of goes along the line with the boredom theme, or being in home in summer and not knowing what the heck to do. So that's my number 3 niche of the week. How do we occupy kids' times and make a book stand out to where parents notice, hey, my kids are bored, or it's just an average ordinary day. What else should they be doing? Things of that nature. Maybe we give them some summer activities. Maybe we do something like that in a book. So that's my number 3 right there. And we'll see. I'm coming up with a lot already, and I haven't even deep dived, or I don't even know if that's the correct grammar, but who gives a shit, because hey, I'm not even about correct grammar. So let's keep going. Here's fashion school. That's kind of along the lines with profession and what do I want to do when I grow up. A lot of little girls always want to go to fashion school. Little do they know that the actual college is too much, and the chances that they succeed is very slim to none unless they understand marketing. So the moral of this video, kids, is know how to market. All right, let's keep going and see what else we find. Card Sharks, math games for kids. I mean, that book I would have loved to have seen as a kid. Unfortunately, I did not. So let's go and deep dive further into this. Again, we're in hot new releases. Now we're going to go to coloring books and see what pops up or stands out. Now remember, once you jump into this actual first page, you're going to see a lot of repetitious books. So you can kind of almost just scroll through those and not really start paying attention. Here's my toddler's coloring book, which seems like it's starting to become repetitious, but I think I saw that. It might have been another one, but if it's not, well, then it just still like makes me look smarter unless you rewind and you figure out that it's the same damn book. But toddlers, here's another one, coloring book vehicles for toddlers. So boom, right there, 1 and 2 just happen to pop up. And if we keep going down, there's Bluey. I don't even want to see that dog ever again, but he's following me. Here's the monster coloring book. Here's another toddler coloring book. This is the actual one that I saw earlier. And again, we see the I Want to Be When I Grow Up book. And so we've gotten 3 so far. I'm going to keep looking and see what else pops up. Again, a lot of the same themes that we saw last time. Here's another toddler coloring book. So it just goes to show that 2, like, 1 is, it could be luck, right? If a ballerina book makes it to the top of the actual charts, that could just be luck. When we see 2 ballerina books, that's potentially a pattern. And when we see 3, we're like, hell yes, it's a pattern. And as we can clearly see here, that's about the 4th or 5th toddler book, which means we've got a pattern, and it means that it's a red hot niche. So toddler coloring book, if you haven't been paying attention, that's what all the buzz is about in this actual video. And now let's keep going and see what else we found. And here is kind of like my actual curveball niche. I don't want to officially say do this niche because I haven't seen any other proof other than this single book. But I can tell you this, that I know what sells in Kindle and I know what's sold in the past. And I know that farting animal coloring books are fire. So this farting corgi book, although it's never going to be a heat-seeking missile, it's never going to sell more than maybe even $1,000 in sales in a single month. But this little guy's coloring book is very niche down, and people that love corgis and they love farting animal coloring books, or they just love gag gifts for people that own corgis, will always buy this crap right here. This shit right here, right? No pun intended, actually pun intended. So with this farting corgi, it could be taken to several different niches. You could do the farting pug. You could do any kind of dog niche that farts. And here's the best part of all. It's literally just pictures of the dog, which you would anyways already get your actual designer to put together, and then a cloud on his ass. That's it. An ass cloud. Whoever thought that you could make so much money drawing an ass cloud on a book? Not an ass clown, an ass cloud, but whoever thought that or thunked that up. And again, I'm making up words as we go along. It's Monday, people. I'm still half asleep. I don't know what I'm doing. I was drinking yesterday. And today, I feel a little energized and I feel a little bit like forcing jokes. So that's what you're going to see. But that's just a bonus one that I thought I'd throw in there. It's not a real one. I think so far we've only got 3. Another thing that I'm noticing is a lot of tractor books, but I'm not going to officially call it yet. I want to see some more before I actually officially call it. And animal books, like in general, like lots of animals, not just one animal, any one particular animal with a name, but a group of them. Here's again another tractor one. And while I might want to call it, instead I want to point out this Halloween book because I think it's important. We are in July, people, and Halloween is already selling. I mentioned that last week, but guess what? They're already out there. They're already selling. And one thing here is going to surprise you in a second because I actually saw something out of the corner of my eye, and there it is. It's a Christmas book. Already, you might be thinking like, holy shit, Liz, we're in July, but there is such a thing as Christmas in July. And on top of that, what better time to start ranking your Christmas book for Christmas than right this very moment? This book is doing that. And although it's number 200,000 in books, you're going to see that slowly climb as we get closer to the big day, which is Q4. And not much else that I'm seeing. Right, so my camera cut off and I forgot where the hell I was, but I will say this. If I'm repeating myself, I'm so sorry. So we're not going to see as many things in this section, and it's easier to get the bestseller badge. If you can get it, by all means, it will probably mean success for your book. So travel journal is number 4, although there's not a lot of sales, but people are always saying you never give no content any love. Well, here's the love, kids. It's some travel journal for kids. And then we're going to finish it off. I see one right here. For some reason, nature journaling is fire. And I think the reason for that is that people are doing outdoor activities, which they typically don't. But hell, we got to go outside and play with ladybugs and butterflies in order to entertain ourselves while we're still in lockdown. So as a result, people are journaling about their experiences out in nature, which is pretty damn boring, but they're trying to add some sort of spice and excitement into their life, chronicling their journey with ladybugs, butterflies, moths, and lizards of all sorts. So it's hot, it's fire, it's number 5, and that about wraps up this hot niches of the week. And I know a lot of people said, hey, you know, we can figure these out ourselves, and good for you if you can. I'm happy to do that. But the comments from the rest of you guys that like me to spoon feed you were just crazy. They were like, Liz, please don't stop doing this. We like this. We like your commentary. We like all that stuff. And there's actually some people that do find me funny. So I thank those people out there. It's probably my sister. It's probably some of my friends. But for the rest of you other guys that actually do find me funny, thanks so much. I really appreciate you being a subscriber of this channel. And I'll see you guys next week for the Hot 5 Niches of the Week, which I will continue to do with this commentary live. So I'll see you guys next time. Questions or comments below, I always personally answer. I'll see y'all in the next video.